March 17th. It is 10:11 p.m. 2024. Okay, Jurgen. So this is a point that came up. It has to do with my perspective in regards to things. This is what they were doing out in Phoenix. They affect me so that I can't explain my own perspective in regards to stuff. That's literally impossible. And they've seen me note, well, you know, actually, when I was back in Phoenix, they probably didn't realize what I was noting. But they knew what they were doing. Hello? Oh, right. They were trying to sell to me. This is what they've been communicating the whole time. This is what they're communicating is how they've lied to you all in regards to me. This is the same shit Horvat used to do. So they're communicating that, oh, here they go, wiping the point, and it's, you know, this is impossible for me to not remember. Oh, right, because I'm angry with them. They're like, you can't be angry and be able to get your book out and do interviews. And I'm like, that's a load of shit. That doesn't mean that's how I do my goddamn interviews, but I've got a right to be angry. I told them to take their unhealthy psychology and to stick it up their ass. Once again, you don't know how to practice psychology. Your practice of psychology is a lie. It's based on your own fucking desires. And in spite of what you've been told, you are incredibly stupid, by the way. All of you. In spite of what you've been told, I'm very good in the psychology department, and I know all sorts of things about people and circumstances, and you name it. And I'm able to take a look from other people's perspectives and figure things out very quickly and easily, especially since the lies being sold about me are so enormous. It's not difficult. It's just like I said in one of the last videos. It's like somebody lying about Jurgen and saying he's gay. Give me a break. You, Jurgen, understand that you're being lied about, and it's an enormous lie, and you get that. But then you see other people believing it, and then you see other things being lied about, and you speak the truth about it. It's real simple. At this point, I have a right to be angry. That's the entire point. You prove the point all over again, these agents here, with this one point. This is just one point of many. But you don't know a goddamn thing in regards to how to practice psychology. Furthermore, you don't even get mine. That's the entire point. So they've got an issue with my being angry at them, and furthermore, I'm angry at them over all their fucking mistakes and their misprofiling, let's see, for 30 plus years now. Furthermore, they haven't communicated jack shit to you, or else this would be finished. You can't handle my real circumstances here and what is really going on, international conspiracy, you fucking amateurs. That's your fucking problem. But you don't get to label everything about me delusional because you can't believe in crime. That's the entire point. Everything about me has been rewritten to fit he's delusional. Actually, I witnessed a crime, and it's no different than anybody else. That's just like the example I used with, well, what if Beata had been raped by an agent at the park or something in broad daylight? And she's saying, he raped me, and they're like, no, he says he didn't, and he says you're delusional, and, you know, he's an agent. And they're looking at, well, he's an agent. He's saying he didn't, and it's broad daylight and in the park. And he says you're delusional, and then everybody starts acting like she's delusional. The point is she'll point out the truth and details and stuff, and then all they do is just label it all delusional. That's not real life. She experienced a crime, she's speaking about it, and everything about her gets labeled delusional. It doesn't change where Beata is coming from, what she actually experienced in reality. So what's Beata going to do? She's going to keep speaking about reality and speaking the truth, especially if you're in my shoes. You got no fucking option. It's impossible to lie about all this shit. But the point is, because I experienced crime, whether you realize it or not, you do not get to label everything about me delusional. That's the entire point. This is how you fucked up the entire time and way here. This is what I mean. You do not get to be your own excuse for fucking up anymore. So it's finished with the FBI. Now, I've sent off emails to people, and they're blocking emails to people from alternative media that I'm trying to get interviews with. This much is obvious. One person for sure would interview me, and I haven't heard anything from her. And today is day 10 of no response. I sent her another email in the wee hours of last night. I sent her email saying, "Did you get my emails? Hello?" And so clearly she has not gotten my emails. And they're just looking at people and approaching people ahead of time, and people don't understand how serious this subject is. All this gang stalking and the remote neural monitoring, this stuff's exploding based on all of the laws. And it gets down to one simple thing. If you can be labeled a conspiracy theorist, anybody who is anti-corruption is a conspiracy theorist. It covers everybody. So this program and the monitoring with remote neural monitoring is going crazy. It's tons and tons of people. And what the alternative media doesn't understand is this is spreading out like a fascist wave, like with Hitler. Getting back to you, Jurgen here, the point is, the FBI screwed up the entire time here. They didn't even correctly profile me before I got put in gang stalking. And then they're like, with me, they're communicating, well, it's your fault. You're playing a role in one way. Hey, man, that's not on me. That was the entire point. You were supposed to be deceived. Go fuck yourselves. The point is, I was able to do it and did it with all sorts of your fucking people, and it's a statement of how good you are. The next point is that egotistical jackass and psychopath labeled me as having a split personality like my mother. Fucking Freudian cheap pop psychology shit. Maybe that's a statement of the people who label me this shit. Man, you people are incredibly sloppy at profiling. But the point is, I witnessed a crime, and then you labeled everything I've got, everything about me is delusional. The most important point here is, which you don't get, and I'm not going to keep repeating this with you dumbass wipes. None of it is real or true. That's the point. I'm totally grounded in reality, just like after the gun attack. Them having putting a gun in my face. The FBI having somebody rob me at gunpoint. I'm not a goddamn victim, and it doesn't totally alter my psychology and everything. That's just the way shit is, man. The same thing here with Horvat and her officers. Instead, you just labeled everything delusional. You are incredibly sloppy. You should have been looking at this the entire time as like the circumstances with Beata. There is no difference. That's why I give the example in the first place. It's what I've experienced, and it doesn't make everything about me delusional. Next point is, the one that I get, which clearly you don't, is I operate on a different level in regards to my intelligence here. Man, that one's blatantly obvious. You are all the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. That's a statement of fact. You are sloppy, and you are irresponsible, and balls to the walls, incompetent. So I've got a right to be angry at the FBI that they use it as an excuse for holding me in. They got no excuse. That's the entire point. They keep inventing excuses. That's not acceptable anymore. You do not get to be your own excuse for my being held in. Go fuck yourselves. So then take a look at the stuff I point out to you in the videos here, Jurgen. This is all about their mistakes. It's constant. And furthermore, it also involves you and your agency. You are all guilty of this. To say that it just blows my mind how balls to the walls incompetent y'all are in regards to psychology. It just blows my mind. It's mind-boggling. The absurd things you have believed, like when I was out in Phoenix And finally, the FBI had to explain it to me. Oh, well, the German agents have these computer programs set up for attacking you over and over until you put them on the list for the elite. They want their loved ones on the list. That's about breaking your will. And, you're finally giving in to anger, and that's what we want. We're trying to condition it. And I was like, man, you're a bunch of goddamn idiots. I was like, if that's what you want, next time just send me a goddamn email. I said to Jurgen Ambiata in video, I said, what planet are you on? You're acting like none of it's real. It's a goddamn joke. Hey, man, all you got to do is send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to put your families on this list here for the elite. And the reality is that, quote, list, I can easily imagine if the elite were to wake up to these circumstances here, it's an enormous mess. It's a giant, dangerous mess. That's exactly what they would do. They would go running around whacking all sorts of people. A goddamn imbecile can figure out that much. You never think about it and you go, wow, that's delusional, you, Jurgen, because you never actually considered this might all be real and true in the first place. I'm looking at what are the results of this crime and what's going on here. What are the results going to be in the future? At some point, Horvat and her officers are going to have to run. Everybody's going to know the truth. And eventually, the people at the top of the world food chain here are going to find out about it. That's a statement of fact. Then they're going to see, well, all of our lives were left in danger, and then they're going to go running around taking care of sloppy agents. That's exactly what they will do. They're megalomaniacal psychopaths with agency training and wealth beyond imagination, and all the fuck-ups here have put their lives in danger. That's, it was my solution for getting this mess ended. That introduction at the beginning of my third book, which I have to edit, by the way. But the point is, that was always the point of that. If I were to get interviews for my third book, and I get my name and my book out, and eventually that introduction will get up to the top there, and eventually, I imagine the truth will come out here. And that will get me my freedom. That's where I was then. Now I'm at a totally different point. Totally my psychology is different here. And all this is a bunch of bullshit. You're a bunch of fakes at what you do here. Furthermore, I understand how you've made all of your mistakes here. That's the one you don't understand, and you've made shitloads of them. That's a statement of my goddamn intelligence, my ability to figure things out here, and you took it all as delusional. The reality is your agency never double-checked one fucking thing the entire time. You never took one damn thing seriously. Now, the point is, if you had not labeled everything delusional, if you just looked at me as, well, this is a crime he's saying has happened in his life, and just looked at me normal, you wouldn't have labeled all this shit about my psychology as delusional in the first place. Boy, you fucked up royally. I'm a normal person who has experienced this in his life. Does it make everything about me delusional? So you're all fucked up, and your file is just full of bullshit in regards to me and my psychology. So now you're hearing about it, and you're like, well, that can't be true. Yeah, it's true. And which is one more point about how sloppy and incompetent and arrogant you all are. Rather than understand, at the very least, there's been severe fucking up here in regards to profiling me. At the very least. Rather than realize that, you go, well, that can't be... That's the point. You can't accept your mistakes here. So then you go dumping it on me as more delusional. That's how fucking balls to the walls, arrogant and incompetent you all are. And that's how the FBI was until, 2021? After they went through your agency and had my father-in-law murdered. They're affecting me throughout this video in regards to speech and breathing, by the way. But It wasn't until after they murdered my father-in-law, they went through your agency, that they finally woke up. But for all those years until then, the FBI had been clueless, and that's with a wiretap on me. And do you know how you got there? Because you got everything wrong about me in the first place. That's why all this shit seems so far out for you, because you invent a psychology I don't even have to explain all sorts of shit. So then when you hear me speaking about it, you still remain in denial. That's the most amazing part. So you don't get to be your excuse anymore for your goddamn mistakes. So this book is coming out. I am getting interviews, and I am getting out of the fucking country. That's your fucking problem and everybody else's. Don't come seeking conflict when there is none. You take responsibility for your mistakes, and you goddamn free me. That's how this shit's playing out. And fuck your agency, Disneyland. Get that shit out of my life. You're a bunch of overpaid fakes. So then they go accusing me of being a threat in interviews, and they do all of these, like, it's scenario pushing. I'll be doing things my way. I'll rehearse doing interviews in my head, and then they'll shove something in, and then it proves to them, well, I'm a threat if I do interviews, and I've communicated this to your fuck-up friends here over and over and over. I've said to them, I said, don't worry about me. I know how to do my shit. I said, you just worry about yourselves. And I've no doubt they sold that to you as some kind of threat. Now, actually, how this is all going to play out based on the FBI's absolutely insane incompetence here. I mean, they've created a new art form here. That's what they've done. They are amazingly incompetent and balls to the walls, insanely stupid. Now, what I was always referring to, Jurgen, is the fact that what's going to happen here, how it's all going to play out, is that because they've got no solution. This is the entire point. They're not going to do jack shit. That much is totally clear. So what's going to happen is Horvat and our officers are going to have to run, and your agency is going to find out anyhow, and there will no doubt be a lot of dead people here, by the way. So you're going to find out the hard way, and they've been worried about relations with Germany the entire time, and actually the choice they've made here is going to be the one which just totally fucks them the most. And they've already made their choices, so now they can't undo it. They can't change it now. And so they're stuck. They're stuck. Really, they're just incompetent fuck-ups. That's the entire point. So that is what I was always referring to. And Patsy here and her team of walnuts, not because they have brains the size of walnuts, but because they have actual walnuts for brains. Let's be clear about the insult here. At the end of the day, as they know, and the CIA, Horvat and her officers have the energy prints of all sorts of people from agencies. So quite literally, Patsy and her officers have got something to worry about personally. That's the one I get that you do not. So that is what that was always a reference to. At the end of the day, their actions here is quite literally going to lead to them ending up dead here. That's my best guess. And they know it. So that's the point. I'm sure they've lied about it and sold it as me making threats. That's a load of shit. Actually, that is cheap psychology, and it's all a lie. It's a deliberate false misportraying of my psychology and where I am coming from. That's exactly what that is. Getting back to the interviews, I know how to do interviews. So I know how to be professional. I would actually be very good for interviewing in regards to all of this. And all they do is hit me up with technology effects, and then they quite literally invent excuses over their own technology effects. That makes you balls to the walls, the dumbest people on the existence of in the existence of this planet ever. So you affect me, and then you go believing your own technology effects. Holy fuck. Nothing delusional about you. Oh my God, I don't even have words for you. Boy, nothing delusional about you people. You live in your own self-invented world. It is all fabricated. It is all a lie. And you are all balls to the walls. These circumstances here is why this whole program needs to be stopped and overhaul. You know, it needs a good agency look and overhaul all across the world here and across the board. This is total proof that you have just lost control of you people don't even live in the real world. That's the entire point. You go affecting me with technology effects, and then you go believing your own technology effects. That's why I've always said to them repeatedly, I said, don't worry about me. I know how to handle, I know how to do my shit. So, but then they use that as the excuse for why I can't be allowed to do interviews. It's a load of shit. It's a self-invented lie, is what it is. And furthermore, you got to ask yourself, well, why is that? They're selling it's all about for agencies. No, they're lying about that one. The proof is that I'm still doing videos here. That's the proof. They have not passed on to you what they know about my psychology. That's the entire point. Furthermore, I'm pointing it out to you. It's real simple. I get my psychology better than most people. Period. And I've been speaking the truth of my psychology the entire time and way here. Strangely enough, I am not delusional about my psychology. I am pointing it out to you. And strangely enough, that would tend to center around this whole thing with enlightenment. You get it? It is what I've been living and breathing the entire time. So that once again makes you all balls to the walls incompetent. That's like the most significant thing. That is, my whole profile's about that. And you go throwing it out, or you slap on your own limited understanding of enlightenment, how it works, the process, you name it. You make the entire thing fit your own belief systems so that you can believe lies about me. Yeah, I am the one who cleaned up an agency file in regards to the subject of enlightenment. The one that I get, which you do not, is I was able to clean that up. When Horvatner officers would ask me questions about it, I was able to give immediate answers. And it's not because they were picking the answers. I could give immediate answers because I actually am way up on that path. That's the entire fucking point, you jackass. Then, you know, just as a quick point, just to make a point. So I just called you a jackass. And then you're like, well, if you're on this path, this enlightenment path, and you're way up at that, you can't call me a jackass. That's just some shit you invent in your head. That is some, that's like a kid's fairy tale. That's not how it actually works. But the point is, if you'd spent any degree of time thinking about what I've communicated in regards to my profile, you could have figured that much out. Instead, you no doubt told yourself that I'm not honest with myself. That's not how any of this shit works in regards to enlightenment. I'm way up on that path, whether you believe it or not. But you are the ones who have a problem with me, so I'm forced into explaining this shit to you. Then what you do is you take a piss on me and tell me I'm delusional about it. That's these fucks here doing this. And then you're telling me I'm delusional about it, and you get less about it than I do. Furthermore, your lack of understanding about it is how you misprofiled me starting more than 30 fucking years ago. That's the entire fucking point. You little non-intelligent turds. Then you go, you're so fucking arrogant, you actually think you're intelligent. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? So give yourself a reality check. You are balls to the wall stupid, and I am telling it to your faces. That's the entire point. I've been pointing out all of your goddamn mistakes in regards to profiling, you name it. Shitloads, fuckloads of mistakes. And you're so fucking arrogant, you can't recognize your own fucking mistakes. Quite literally, I am somebody intelligent enough to be able to point out your mistakes. I'm doing it, and then you take a piss on my intelligence. You go labeling it as something other than it is. Holy shit. And then you go labeling me egotistical. You're amazing. Why do you think I've been using the Elon Musk reference? You don't begin to see where I'm at in regards to my intelligence. That's one of your problems here. They keep hijacking me. They keep, this would be so easy to speak about, and they're just making it very, very difficult. Point is, when you stop making this about your egos and you start double checking all the shit I bring up here, you'll realize you made mistakes, and huge ones, and fuckloads of them. That's the entire point. And that's the one you can't handle. You got somebody intelligent enough to be able to point it all out to you, and then you get egotistical about it and label it as, well, he's an agent wannabe, or he's delusional, or this or that. Your balls to the wall's incredible. Oh, you're amazing. You go inventing excuses for not double checking. And the reality is, I am pointing out all of your goddamn profile mistakes, you name it. You're amazing. And then you go labeling me egotistical, balls to the walls, incompetent. It's actually opposite of my goddamn profile. How do you think I've been profiling the agents I deal with here, the agents in charge? How do you think I'm, quote, good here? I've been measuring everybody's fucking mistakes, you jackass. Nothing more telling than their mistakes in regards to the psychology department misusing this technology, and on and on and on. So don't tell me. So then what you do is you're just trying to split my intelligence. Well, then that makes you a dangerous threat. You're good. Boy, you don't get one goddamn thing. This is the point. You don't begin to know how to practice psychology here. Just because I'm intelligent, I communicated this to Pee-wee out in Phoenix. Boy, the shit that was obvious. Balls to the wall, stupid. I said, oh, right. Just kill all the intelligent people. You got to worry about intelligent people. That makes them a threat. Actually, that works the opposite with me and anybody who is intelligent. Strangely enough. Hello? After watching you fuck up for 22 years extra and all the goddamn killing and torture and everything else, and you think I'm going to go seeking conflict with you stupid fuckers? You're amazing. So get the fuck out of my life, because you are creating conflict here. You accept you made mistakes. You double check your shit. You wake up to the reality of having misprofiled me the entire fucking time. You pack up your shit and you get out of my fucking life. And I will be getting interviews. You can fucking bet on it. My name's getting out. Fuck your goddamn Disneyland. Goddamn all of you to hell, by the way. This is how it is with everything, Jurgen. Let's see. It is March 18th, 2:43 p.m. 2024. Monday. Montag. So as a point, they've been hitting me up with nausea really the entire time I've been back. The last many months, it's been very, very much. Point is, I accept all the stuff they do. The way they look at it, the way they've lied about this is, well, we're not getting a reaction. Well, actually, I passed from your point of view. You did your bullshit and you didn't get a reaction. But that's not how you all look at it. You're like, well, we didn't get a reaction. It's a manipulation. No, actually, that's the entire point. I've accepted what it is you do here, like I can change it. So the point is, you then go seeing it different than how it is. If it were anybody else, you'd be going, oh, all right, well, he didn't react and that's it. Oh, no, not with you fuckers. It turns into extreme torture and murder. The lie you all are is finished. Once we have a public audience here, it's going to be 3 parties. It's going to be all you lying turds, me, and the public here. And this is how it's going to play out. People are going to see your balls to the walls incompetent. You're goddamn amazingly incompetent when it comes to profiling. You can't recognize a goddamn thing in front of your face. That's on you. That's a statement of your job performance. What you don't get is, I am angry that this is based on your job performance. You're supposed to be paid agents. In the entire step and way, you haven't seen one fucking thing correctly or accurately the entire fucking time. So instead of seeing it for what it is, well, he accepts it. Okay, he passed. We've done this shit and no heavy reaction. It then turns into, well, we didn't get a reaction, so we're just going to do more and more and heavier and more extreme. That's on you fucks. You have misprofiled me so that you can just be more heavy and extreme. Imagine that. And that goes all the way back to Horvat. Wow. Never would have figured that one out. Imagine that one. And I meant that as I meant it, not as you can fuck it up and see it differently than how I meant it. Yeah, so this thing with the nausea goes on and on and on, more and more extreme, and or they go, well, we got a reaction on the inside. Well, I tell them to fuck off every single time. They got no business doing it. That's the entire point. But then you go seeing that differently than how it is also. So you are all incompetent, and this is finally the truth of the incompetence of agents and agencies here is coming out. Your Disneyland is finished. Everybody's Disneyland is finished. It is probably the if not the key message here, certainly one of the most important messages. I've learned how balls to the walls incompetent you are, and then you're doing all of this dangerous shit, but the reality is you're not even accurate in regards to your profiling. You don't even think twice about murder and torture. You live in your own imaginary invented world. That's finished. So, but this is a perfect example. You just turn it into an excuse. Furthermore, you're amazing. It just blows my mind, and it's been this way the entire time. So nothing is stopping my book here and my interviews this time. People from alternative media can be as stupid as they want, but I see already they're blocking emails to certain people from alternative media. That's already happened. And so I'll be getting my book out, and I'm going to have to fight extra hard, and then when I do get there, I am going to be pissed off. I'm not going to get myself killed at doing interviews, but man, like I said, I'm not doing you all any favors. I'm just going to point out the truth that every single fucking mistake in regards to profiling, you name it. But like I said, I won't be getting myself killed in interviews, but man, that's it for the lie you all are. If you had followed your own goddamn rules for the stalking, I'd already be free and there wouldn't be a problem or issue. You can't even clean up your mistakes. That's once again a statement of your competence and how professional you actually are. So that is it for this video. That's the point. This is about your lack of job performance and your lack of actually caring about your job performance. Really, it just gets into you believe what you feel to believe, you do what you want to do, and even your own system here is ignored, disregarded, thrown out the window. The whole system's hoarded out. You got no rules. It's just anarchy. In regards to agents and agencies here, the stalking and technology and what you all do. You've been doing everything for 22 years now based on your own fucking errors. Your own mistakes. And it's not acceptable. Furthermore, I've pointed out your mistakes and you can't handle it. That's about your egos. You should have been looking at, what it gets down to with Horvat. This was the surprise for me with the agents out in Phoenix. I was like, what the fuck? You think my mind's broken and I'm delusional and this and that? I was like, it's just like me experiencing a crime. It doesn't totally change everything. That changed everything with you all. It didn't change my psychology. That's one thing that happened in my life. And I've still got to deal with the consequences of it. But the point is, it doesn't make everything about me delusional. That's where you fucked up like crazy. You slapped delusional onto everything. If you just looked at it as one thing in my life and just viewed me as normal, then you wouldn't have fucked up the entire way. That's the entire point. This entire thing is on all of you. It's not on me. But that you got a fucking attitude problem over shit that you believe about me, which isn't even real or true. And you're coming at me with what you believe about me, which isn't even true. You're attacking me over your own beliefs, which have nothing to do with where I'm at and where I'm coming from. It has nothing to do with my goddamn psychology. That I have a problem with. That you're breaking your fucking rules, gang stalking, and then lying to everybody from my parents to alternative media and holding me in. And then you continue to do this based on your own fucking mistakes. Oh, you got no excuse. You do not get to be your excuse for fucking up anymore. It's finished. Here's one for you, Jurgen. They're wondering about something. This goes back to the agents in Phoenix. And it's a mental marker I have. And the agent out in Phoenix, he said, well, it must be you are, he said, he accused me of trying to manipulate. And I said, that's ridiculous. You got technology on me. There's no ulterior motives. That's the point. And then he said, well, it must be that you were manipulating the whole time and to go free, and you've forgotten it, and now it's built in and it's subliminal, but you believe you are different than how you are. And I said, hang on. I said, holy shit, it's windy. Hang on. So I said to the agent in Phoenix, I said, that's ridiculous. I was never manipulating with Horvat in the first fucking place. That was point number one, but then I said, that's ridiculous. So you're saying I was manipulating to go free, then it became subconscious and subliminal, like I forgot about it. And it's just built into me, so now it's like it's genuine. I said, that's ridiculous. I said, actually, if we're to follow your line of thought here, that would actually make it genuine anyhow. I said, what's the fucking difference? The only difference is where I'm actually at and where I've been the entire time. I haven't been lying or manipulating the entire time in way here. You're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. But they saw me look at this. They see it's a mental marker. And that's when I realized that Horvat had just made stuff up in the file and lied and said I'm manipulating to go free and shit. I don't have to. That's the entire point. My passing, like thousands of times, literally at this point, it must be over 1,000, where they've made me nauseous. At the least hundreds upon hundreds. And brought this up very little. I've brought up very little in regards to the torture. You could ask David out of England. I rarely bring up what it is they do, and I just say, I'm tortured with the technology. But the point is, I've accepted it all along the way here. There's nothing I can do about it. That's the point. This is where I've been the entire time. You've just been lied to about my psychology and you've been lied to about everything in regards to me. So then when I finally tell you the truth, you go labeling it delusional, because that's what you've been slapping on everything in the first place. Actually, the most important point is that you should realize what we fucked up the entire time, and then you got to go back to all the way where you started fucking up and clean your goddamn file up, you asswipes. But the point is that mental marker is me realizing, well, Horvat just lied like crazy in the file. I was never manipulating to go free. But clearly that's what the agent out in Phoenix believed. It's what they all believed. I've been trying to manipulate to go free, because he was like, well, it must be that you were doing it so long you forgot you're doing it, and then it's like it became real, it's subconscious now. And I'm like that's just ridiculous. And that's one more point. You get my psychology. It's things start making a whole hell of a lot more sense than all the bullshit you've chosen to believe. You believe just fantastic lies and stories about me and my psychology in the first place. You don't know the first thing about profiling. None of you do. This is with me pointing out my real psychology and you remaining in denial about my psychology and what has been going on the entire time. So the point is, I go through this nausea hundreds and hundreds of times, and they don't get a reaction. Inwardly, in my mind, they'll get a fuck you or fuck off, because they got no business being so heavy and extreme, and they know it. It's beside the point. They've got no reaction. And so then what they do is they just increase it more and more and more and more. And the reality is, I've just been accepting it the entire time and way here. The point is, if it were somebody else in stalking, you'd be like, well, good. He didn't get real angry, didn't react. He's starting to accept his circumstances, and that's a sign, clearly he's going to end up going free here. All he's got to do is get through everything else, and he can go free. That's how it is with somebody else who's normally in stalking. With me, I strangely enough, I look that way because I am that way. But what you do is you take me and you reinvent it in your head and see me differently than how I am. And then when you're done with it, I turn into, well, he's got to be held in and we've got to torture heavily and murder. The reality is I qualify for going free based on my psychology, and you ignore my psychology for all this other shit you choose to believe instead. This is why I'm so fucking angry with all of you. You believe extreme lies rather than, you go slapping delusional onto everything rather than just look at me as being normal and having a normal psychology about everything here. Your balls to the wall is amazing. So the point is, I qualify for going free. We all know this. And then what you're doing is you're holding me in and you're doing torture and murder. Go fuck yourselves. That is entirely on you. Furthermore, I qualify for going free. I pass. I can pass, and we all know it. But you're holding me in. And the point is, there's no difference in terms of how I am and somebody else who's passing. The only difference is that normally I'm optimistic about going free. Instead, I've got to fight here with agents and agencies, and that's how it's going to play out. I accept that one. You're all at fault here. Your inability to profile, your inability to clean up your mistakes. You just go, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and you don't even start looking at everything I've pointed out to you and do the math on it. The point is, you're not thinking about the stuff I bring up, and then you're not actually following the tips I give. That makes you incredibly stupid. I know what your mistakes are, how you've made them, and I'm pointing them out to you. And you're so fucking arrogant, you go, well, he's delusional, intelligently tricked, or mistaken, and on and on and on. You go. Literally, any single point I bring up, you slap a false psychology onto it. That's not on me. The FBI and yourselves have created your current circumstances along with Horvat here. Point is, you take somebody else in stalking, they get through all the stuff, like the nausea, this and that, without reacting heavily. And you don't go, oh, well, we've got to go heavier now. Now we've got to do a hardcore torture, and we've got to do more of it, and on much higher levels, and we've got to do murder now. Actually, you go, well, they qualify for going free, and then you free them. With me, you've invented something else. That's not acceptable. So you got your own problems here. You've created your own anarchy, and you've done it by not even following your own fucking rules, protocols, your own little Disneyland here. Instead, you want to believe a psychology I don't have. Also not acceptable. So when I get interviews here, I'll be handing back the asses of every fucking agent and agency I've dealt with here. We're going to point out all your goddamn profiling mistakes, how everybody else can know the truth of my circumstances, minus people who are balls to the walls brainwashed. Let's be clear about it. So really, everybody else is going to get the truth of agents and agencies, how you do your shit, which is to say you don't. You just feel what to believe. And, man, miles upon miles of profiling mistakes, you name it. Be sure I'll send you video links for interviews when I do them. Get a good look. So the point is, what you've said with me, you could say about anybody passing stalking. That's the entire point. Where I'm actually at is I pass with flying colors. I'm happy and optimistic about going free. That's how I normally am, except I'm also a realist. I see they're not going to let me go, and they're not going to let me go because they haven't told your agency the truth. It's that simple. And I'm angry about it because you forced me into having to deal with you, and you've taken it to this fucking extreme in the first place. Because of the FBI, I've got no choice but to do this book, and since they're lying to everybody, holding me in, that's really that's how it's going to play out anyhow. I'm not staying in stalking just so American agencies can maintain their fucking lies. No, they can go fuck themselves. I will state this for everybody. I'll tell you exactly how this is going to play out for each and every fucking group agents looking at this. I'll tell you exactly how it's going to play out. All the truth of all of this shit's going to come out, period. That's how this shit's going to play out. We're going to get your fucking mess ended. You think I'm staying in this because you're fuck-ups? Forget it. Oh, you fucking dream. So that's how this is playing out. Till I'm free, this is coming out. You know, this is getting ended here. That's how that's working. Not dumb enough to get myself killed in regards to interviews. But, man, we're just going to go through the mistakes of agencies here bit by bit. And everybody can see what a bunch of incompetent fakes you all are. Everything from the profiling to, this here, the hypocrisy. You've set up a double standard. Furthermore, it's not even based on my psychology. I've pointed myself out, and you remain in denial, like I'm inventing this. So all the way around, your balls to the wall stupid. The next point is, you two, but Jurgen and Beata, you spent a lot of time with me, and you never even began to get to the bottom of my profile. Just amazing. Mother Mira gets me better than you do. Once again, amazing. Well, it is and it isn't in one way. But, Andreas, Monica, people with a similar consciousness, they're going to pick up on the fact that I'm real. All sorts of people here are going to pick up on the fact that the story's real and true. I'm not staying in stalking because of all of your goddamn mistakes and your arrogance. You act like it's not on you to clean your mistakes up. You act like it is not on you to do your jobs here, and on and on and on. You keep playing this game of I'm the boogeyman. You keep just inventing more and more far out shit in regards to my psychology, and I am not your fucking play toy. While you're busy playing games, Real life is going on here. And you made all of your fucking mistakes by not taking any of this shit seriously in the first place. You have been a bunch of goddamn asses from the Beka'a here. That's exactly what you've been. You've been a bunch of goddamn egotistical know-it-alls, and the reality is you fucked up royally. Horvat lied to your fucking punk asses. That's the way it is. And if you can't accept it, then, you know, that's not my problem. At the very, you know, I could just say, there's so much to say here, I don't even know where to start with that. Okay, they're just hijacking me here. What they're doing is forcing out what I've got to say, and they're just replacing it with their shit. And man, this shit is no longer acceptable. Hang on. You've been non-thinking, non-questioning, and sloppy and incompetent. You've taken nothing seriously a damn bit here. I point out my psychology, you throw it in the garbage. I point out all your mistakes, you throw it in the garbage. You just cherry pick what it is you want. It all centers around you. And it centers around these agents here and what they want. Same thing with Horvat and her officers. Because I'm dealing with, let's see, Horvat and her officers, and Patsy and her team of walnuts here, because I'm going back to Horvat and her officers. That's not changing. I'll be leaving in a few months' time. That's the way that's going to play out. So I want to get back to an earlier point. So what we have here is the rules have been reinvented for me, and strangely enough, it's all about absolutely destroying me and breaking me. And strangely enough, this is what Horvat came up with. Now, they've tried selling it as, well, that's what stalking is about. It's about breaking a person's will. I disagree with that. You know, they didn't break Ryan's will. This guy, Ryan, out at the diner, he was being stalked. We were both going through gang stalking at the same time, back when I first got put into the gang stalking in 1994, as a matter of fact. And the point is, people go free when they realize there's nothing they can do, and they accept it. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. That's rather the point. And that's how most people get through it. I see some have post-traumatic flashbacks, or they re-experience all sorts of anger and stuff. That's a lie that you've been sold about me. The split personality and shit. Actually, in 2002, that's how you can know that that I changed. That, any chance, you know, there wasn't a chance of that happening anyhow. But that was the last thing I had to get over. With the agent in charge before Horvat, I was getting angry at Entes. I was literally getting myself held in, because I was still angry about the circumstances and all the shit that had been done to me. That's what changed in front of Horvat's face in 2002. That's why I've said over and over in video, 2006, I was like, well, Horvat's busted. She's misusing the technology for holding me in. She's lying about me. And the point was, she had technology on me when I totally changed. Hello? It wasn't manipulating. That's the entire point. They had technology on me. They could see exactly where I was at. And they saw that I totally changed. It wasn't a goddamn manipulation. That is somebody lying about me, and you being so fucking flaky and incompetent. Don't tell me you're a fucking agent. You don't even perform as fucking cops, you assholes. Go fuck yourselves. And then you just believing the lie because they're your homies. That's not real life. That's not the real world. It's not even the real fucking circumstances, you goddamn amateurs. When Horvat lied and held me in, my mind didn't shatter. Yours fucking did. Oh, you got no fucking idea as to how angry I am with all of you. You are attacking me. You act like you think you actually know me, and then you're attacking me, and the point is you don't know me at all. And you're supposed to be goddamn agents. You got a set of balls. Man, I had a lot more to say than that, and they just started hijacking me. They're still doing it. So now to tie things in, the agents out in Phoenix, they're like, oh, well, Horvat was attracted to you. And I'm like, from the beginning, I was like, well, clearly that's what Horvat sold to other agents and agencies. She sold that. You would, by the way. And so I saw automatically what they believed and what's in the file, because that was the lie sold in the file. No, the whole point of Horvat's sex shows is she did those right out in the open. The whole thing was about Horvat's obsession with me and the fact that she had lied to German agents and agencies, held me in, lied about my psychology, and then stated her obsession with me right out in the open in front of your fucking amateur asses. And got away with it. Her being herself. It's never been about sex shit. It's been about her desire to break my will in the first fucking place. And that's what I told the agents out in Phoenix. And the whole entire point here is, strangely enough, the way you've got the stalking set up, it's about absolutely just, you can't break my will is point one. You've got nothing to break. That's the entire point. I've accepted all your shit all along the way here because I'm already done with this shit. I've been this way for 22 fucking years, you amateurs. Oh, you got no fucking idea as to how angry I am with you. That's it for your fucking arrogance. You're talking to me about how you think I am, not how I actually am. Then you got a fucking attitude problem over it. Oh, you got no fucking idea how angry I am. You'd better find out and get your facts straight before you go attacking me. I get your side of the fence. I get how you do your shit. That's rather the fucking point. I've pointed out all sorts of shit here. And then you're like, instead of realizing it's good information and good tips, you just go throwing it away. Oh, it's intelligently mistaken and delusional. You're a bunch of goddamn amateurs. You just slap one incredibly insane thing here after another in regards to my psychology. In the meantime, my psychology remains the same, and it sure as hell isn't the shit you believe. But imagine that, Horvat, she has it set up. It's all about totally trying to destroy me and break my will. Oh, that's what the stalking is about. That's a load of shit. The stalking is about whether or not I'm a goddamn threat. Point is, I already accepted how shit was with agents and agencies here. There's no changing it, no nothing. When it gives this much power and control, there is no goddamn changing it. It's that fucking simple. But you holding me in and doing all of this shit and rewriting your own fucking rules because you can't fucking see my psychology with me pointing it out to you while you pretend to be something you aren't, you can't fucking forget it. But you created that. Man, I am so fucking angry you got no idea. So I'm forced into addressing all of your arrogance here. All of this because of your goddamn arrogance. Your little picture-perfect world crime doesn't happen. Man, go fuck yourselves. So they're doing it again. They're just hijacking me. And then wiping my memory. Just wiping everything. The point was, in regards to the gang stalking, I passed with flying colors. And instead, with anybody else, you would have been like, well, clearly he qualifies for going free. Instead, you just saw me as different than I was. I've already pointed out the truth of this. You have no excuse. You just cling to all of your mistakes and the lies you choose to believe rather than clean your shit up. So I'm pissed beyond belief. I'm literally forced into cleaning your fucking mess up. And you have no idea as to how angry I am about it. If you were, instead of having an egotistical reaction to all of the tips I've given and everything I've pointed out here along the way, if you were to take those tips and follow the points, tips, leads I give you, you'd find out it's all true and real, and you would realize you fucked up in regards to profiling me. Instead, you haven't done any of that. None of this shit is acceptable anymore. And furthermore, it's all on you. Everything here from here on out is on divine law. Your Disneyland exists in your heads. You are balls to the walls delusional in multiple ways. And I view you as hostile and stupid and dangerous. Are we clear? I will be addressing the little Disneyland you live in, and I'm going to make it more than clear just how balls to the walls delusional you all are. I'm going to be pointing out every single mistake in regards to profiling the real events and how this all happened and played out along the way here. Furthermore, anybody who is even halfway spiritual or halfway conscious is going to realize I'm real and true and speaking the truth about this. And do you know why? Because they're not a bunch of fucking psychotic freaks from agencies in the first place who live in the self-invented Disneyland of torture and murder and just doing all of it without even double checking their own shit here. You're not agents. What you are a bunch of feel-good amateurs in regards to all of this. Man, it is about time I said that one. And my believing, by the way, from your little Disneyland, my believing that Horvat held me in stalking for her own personal reasons, her own obsession here, which is really what we speak of here when we speak of Horvat and why. You thinking it's all delusional, it doesn't make everything about me delusional. That was one of your biggest mistakes ever. And you just let Horvat spoon feed this shit to you the entire time. No, I experienced a crime from your point of view. And it does not instantly all of a sudden change my psychology and make everything delusional. But that's what it did with you. Imagine that. You want proof you're delusional? You go affecting me with technology for a specific effect and desired result. And then you literally end up believing your own technology effect. You're balls to the walls, just beyond belief in regards to how stupid. You are insanely stupid. You quite literally believe your own technology effects. I'm the one being affected, and I don't believe your shit. Hello? So then it gets into, well, we're affecting you with what we see about you. This is how we see you, and we're affecting you into trying to see yourself. Boy, you're balls to walls delusional on that one. Actually, the entire time, and stepping away here, all you've done is affect me and then end up believing your own shit here. You literally reinforce something that's inaccurate in the first place. It's something you believe that's not even correct. You get the fucking word? You're off by a million miles in regards to my psychology. But then you reinforce it with yourselves by doing a technology effect. Your balls to the wall's amazing. Yeah, I've pointed out my psychology for more than 2 years now, and you haven't done your fucking jobs and seen my psychology for what it is instead of all the bullshit you believe. You fucking amateurs. Then you turn it into, well, that's... you think it's that way. Hey, man, that's not at all how it is. What I'm telling you is if you had followed my fucking tips and fucking listened and all the leads and everything I'd given you, you'd be awake, you fucking dumbasses. Strangely enough, performing your jobs would have led to you finding out the truth. You need somebody telling you that in order for you to find out, you've got to perform your jobs in the first place? What a bunch of fucking asswipes. So I'll send you links for the interviews, Jurgen. You bet your ass I will. How do you think it was? How do you think it was? I was happy and excited that... Oh, now, here they go, hijacking me. Fuck y'all. I was happy and excited this is back in 2002. Here they go, just hijacking again. Poor things. I was happy and excited that I was going to go free of the goddamn stalking. And because I had changed. I realized I don't need the situation anymore. I realized I was getting myself held in. I realized it was stupid. It was dysfunctional. And so I was happy and excited. They keep fucking with my ability to speak. This is the second video where they've done this now. Actually, the beginning of this video was the first video. And instead, I'm just going to add this and make it just one video. But the point is, I was happy and excited. I was like, well, I can go free now. Because I had removed my own mental barrier here, the one that was getting me held in. So I told Monica about this. She realized I had changed. That was the entire point. She witnessed this. She was there the entire time. How did Monica get labeled? Delusional, strangely enough. What a fucking lie. You didn't even look at this and consider if it's real or true or not, and then ask questions based on having thought about all of this. You're fucking incredible. This is what the world is going to know. You didn't perform at all. You're just talking shit out of your asses. We're agents and they're agents. We know you're full of shit. I got to deal with the circumstances here while you perform like a bunch of fucking clowns. And then you tell me my mind's shattered and I can't handle reality and I've got to believe it's Horvat held me in for her own personal reasons. Boy, you're balls to the wall stupid. How much sense does that even make? My psychology hasn't changed a goddamn bit. Only thing in terms of my psychology is that I've just grown leaps and bounds more and more here. In terms of passing stalking, I still qualify. That's the point. Nothing's changed here. You just keep seeing me differently than how I am. That's not on me. You forced me into addressing all of your bullshit here in the first place. I'm forced into doing it because you haven't seen me correctly the entire time. How do you think that works? I gotta lie and manipulate to go free when I qualify just based on how I am? Go fuck yourself. And I got a witness. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The agents out in Phoenix. And they would say something or do something and I would say fuck off. Or go fuck yourself. And at one point the agent in charge, Pee-wee, communicated to me, that's deep-seated anger. And I laughed. I was like, they didn't begin to know what they're talking about. Actually, it's superficial. So it's amazing. You take superficial shit and you turn it into deep-seated psychology. Actually, it's superficial. You were on the surface with me, you fucking dumb assholes. So the point is, they took something that's superficial and they labeled it as deep-seated. Absolutely fucking incredible. I told that right there, that one mistake right there told me all sorts of shit about the agent in charge out in Phoenix, Pee-wee, as I call him. That's absolutely amazing. Your balls to the wall's incredible. You've just invented this your own fake psychological world. It's all a bunch of goddamn tea leaves. The shit you believe about me, it doesn't apply to David, it doesn't apply to Mira, it doesn't apply to Monica. You're talking about fuckloads of people who do not experience psychology the way you fucking do, you fucking amateurs. You've invented psychology. You're not even good at this shit. Another point I pointed out to Pee-wee was, well, I'm keeping it in place. I'm realistic in regards to who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with people who torture and kill and murder. And I figure, well, they're going to hijack me at some point, which they did. And I just had it set in that way. That was a good move on my part, because sure as shit, they did hijack me, and that was to keep it in my head who it is I'm dealing with, regardless of how much they fucking affect me. This is the problem Patsy has. Patsy is in her own fantastic little world here in regards to all sorts of shit. She's she gets all sorts of shit about shit she hasn't passed on to you, by the way, or else I wouldn't be doing videos. But the point is, that's the point. The entire time, I already know Patsy. And Patsy she's the dumbest of the dumb. And possibly beyond Horvat in regards to arrogance. At least with Horvat, at least I know I'm dealing with a dangerous creature. Regards to Patsy, yeah, I'm dealing with a dangerous creature, but she's so fucking stupid, she's dangerous. There's a world of difference. But getting back to the point, let's say you, Jurgen, are out on the street and you end up getting angry. Somebody makes some shit with you and you end up saying fuck off to them. You're not permanently scarred for life. You're not, you're not damaged. Your anger towards that person is in the moment, but it's superficial. There's absolutely no difference. That's how it was for me with these agents out in Phoenix. There's no fucking difference. But it told me shitloads that Pee-wee thought that my saying go fuck yourself or fuck you, or, whatever it was, different flavors here, different variations of wording. But the point is, it told me shitloads in regards to Pee-wee, his ability to practice psychology, and his intelligence level right from the very beginning. Soon as that was communicated to me, I realized I'm dealing with a real fuck-up here. Pee-wee saw that as deep-seated anger, like deep down inside, I'm this raging inferno. Boy, fucked up like crazy. And that's the point. And that's what I mean by, like, David would understand where I'm coming from. Monica, most certainly, because she knows all this is real and true in the first place. But Andreas, Mira, others as well. Many people. It's not rocket science. The way you practice psychology is that you've invented your own world of psychology. Furthermore, it's not even accurate. It's not, that's the point. It's delusional. You do shit like tea leaves. You do sloppy profiling. That is the one I get. Man, you're getting video links. You're getting video links for interviews I do. And you wait and watch. You'll have your army of trolls for bringing up all sorts of shit in the comment section for interviews I do. And amongst all of your trolling, watch all sorts of people put things together and figure out all sorts of shit that you all hadn't even thought about. And it'll be all things which point to the truth. So, you can live this lie about what you are not and what you are on paper, but that's the reality of agents and agencies. You exist on paper. You do not exist in terms of job performance, thinking intelligently, thinking at all. That's the most amazing one. I see what you've not even looked at or considered the entire time and way here. So, I always used Elon Musk as a reference point, and you've never gotten it. You've been too busy looking down on me and viewing me as something I'm not. You don't even get my intelligence level. That's been hidden from you. You're being sold a very dumbed-down level, and it's all being labeled as delusional, cleverly tricked, mistaken, and on and on. No, actually, I'm intelligent enough to be able to clean your mess up, and I've done it, and you have been too stupid to actually do your job and to find out it's all on the money in the first place. That's the reality of the circumstances. So I don't know, I think maybe I'm done with the video here tonight.